Chapter 58. Entering the formation alone to kill the demons. Song Armor Sect. Within the Golden Armor Crystal Grand Formation. Boom. The roaring sounds of battle came from outside the Grand Formation, and the 5,000 or so demonized people gave a slight lurch. Don't stop. The beginning ancestor can take care of Guhai. Let's continue eating and enhance the power of the demonic treasure. A demonized man called out. Yes. In the outside world, Master Liu Nian stepped out on the white mist, and in front of him was the rising dragon Fu Blood. Ang. Amidst the roar of the auger dragon tilting its head, the sky flashed with lightning and thunder. Dark clouds covered the sky, and it was like the end of the world between the stormy winds. Liu Nian, the Zhao Long's eyes glared. You still know me. Hair, Fu Blood, you really have a lot of guts. You even dare to captivate the whole master. You're really tired of living, Master Liu Nian said in a cold voice. HMPH, old bald donkey. Success is the king and defeat is the enemy. If you want to save Long Wanjing, that also depends on whether you have that ability. Vadra's body. Buddha's light shines. Master Lunian folded his hands. Buzz. Boom. Huge vibrations, shaking the four directions of the ground, shaking the mountains. Stormy winds raging. Sea water blasted away in all directions. The sky was filled with chaos. Stormy rain and sea water filled the sky, wrapping the center of the battlefield, where Master Liu Nian was battling Fu Blood. And the battle became more and more intense. For a while, Guhai and the others could no longer see the center of the battle. Wow. A large amount of sea water, like a torrent, came and washed over the 20,000 people. Ah, second brother is being swept away by the huge water. Quickly hide over here. Ah, the powerful torrent of battle forced the 20,000 people to quickly hide from the aftermath, and there was only one safest place, and that was where the entrance to the Golden Armor Crystal Grand Formation was. Guhai stepped and jumped over. Guhai is here. Run. The two demonized people who had followed for blood out shrieked. There Yin. With a sword, Guhai chopped one of the demonized men. The other demonized man was just about to run away, but he was surrounded by dozens of cultivators interspersed among the people. Don't come over. I'll eat you all. The demonized man let out a roar with a hideous face. The dozens of cultivators, however, shrank in a timid manner. However, for this small moment of stopping, Guhai chased after them. Dozens of you. Can't you catch him? He's only at the innate realm, and he's still at the beginning innate realm. Guhai said, angrily. Bared Jin. Ah. Guhai chopped the demonized man with his sword and roared at the dozens of cultivators. The faces of the cultivators were ugly for a while, but they didn't know what to say. Yes. That demonized man was only at the early stage of the innate realm, and with his power skyrocketing 5 times, he was no match for himself. Dozens of them. Why were they still afraid when they saw it? Guhai let out a long breath. Yunggong, this big water is getting more and more terrifying. We can't get out. What should we do? One of the people said anxiously. Guhai twisted his head and looked aside at the golden armored crystal array. There's no flood in here. Wow. The 20,000 people all took a step back in fear. Eunuch, let's block this entrance. There are devils inside. There are many devils. One of the people called out. Yes, block it up. Block it up. The 20,000 people shouted in terror. With that said, the people were the ones who went to carry all kinds of stones, ready to gamble up the 3 feet high entrance. Guhai frowned slightly. It seemed that these 20,000 people were scared out of their wits. If they are scared out of their wits, it's useless to say anything to them. Stepping forward, Guhai twisted his head and crossed into the golden armor crystal formation. Ah, Enkong, don't you? The people shrieked ... for a moment. Those who were moving the stones stopped there, not knowing what to do. Block. Enkong was inside. Don't block it. There are many devils inside. Gu Hai stepped into it and instantly jumped onto the top of the nearest mountain peak. Quickly, he looked in the four directions of Song Jiazong. A few demonized people who had fled faster earlier were in the midst of escaping in one direction. The entire formation was silent, as if the figures of the demonized people could not be seen. Suddenly, Gu Hai's eyes glared. Because Gu Hai saw a valley, there was a black sphere floating in mid-air, and rolling black gas was emerging from the valley to be absorbed by it. More than 5,000 demonized people, resembling vicious ghosts, flared out a single snake head and were in the midst of wreaking havoc at the corpses in a valley. That single snake head was ferociously tearing and eating human flesh. It was no longer heart and liver. It was human flesh. They were devouring it in a frenzy. It was like a scene from the Shura hell. Eating people. Eating the flesh of corpses as well. You guys can really eat it. Gu Hai's eyelids fluttered furiously. Looking at the bloody scene in the distant valley, Gu Hai's eyes grew colder and colder as a murderous aura burst out. Boom! Gu Hai stepped and jumped down the mountain, returning to the entrance of the golden armor crystal formation. Benevolent Lord, you're getting out, a group of people outside anxiously said. Listen you all, now, block this entrance for me. No one is allowed to go out unless I shout. Gu Hai shouted at the 20,000 people. Huh, the crowd of people and hundreds of cultivators said blankly. Twisting his head, Gu Hai once again stepped back into the valley and flipped his hand to take out the coffins that stored explosives. It was buried under the foot of the mountain at the exit. Setting the fuse, Gu Hai took out the flint. Cross-rub. A flame appeared, and Gu Hai quickly lit the fuse, barely. The fuse was lit, and Gu Hai quickly jumped towards the distance. At the place of the ghost treasure, the crowd of demonized people continued to devour the human flesh. The loud noises outside were not heeded by the crowd of demonized people. It's bad, Elder, it's bad. A demonized man finally ran over. The crowd of demonized people twisted their heads to look. The beginning ancestor is being entangled by the old monk of the lunar year. What, Master Liu Nian? The crowd's faces changed. Where's Gu Hai? His 3,000 evil men are here too. No, it's just Gu Hai alone. He killed several masters. The demonized man shouted. Just Gu Hai alone. What are you afraid of? The crowd immediately glared. No, that Gu Hai, the demonized man worried. All right, that group of people and cultivators outside have long been scared out of their wits. Going to capture Gu Hai couldn't be better. However, things can't stop here. Go to 100 people and capture Gu Hai. That elder said in a cold voice. With a probing hand, 100 of the demonized men ordered at once. The 100 demonized people slowly jumped out of the valley, towards the direction of the valley. Boom! There was a loud bang in the distance, as two large mountains crumbled down. The faces of the 100 demonized people changed. That's the direction of the exit. Quickly go check it out. The crowd anxiously ran towards the explosion. However, they saw that the two large mountains at the exit had blown up and collapsed at this moment, completely blocking the exit of the grand formation. Rolling smoke and dust rushed into the sky. A piece of ruins. The entrance is blocked. A demonized man's face changed and said, What's going on? Is Gu Hai worried about us going out and catching him? It must be. Gu Hai is only one person. He's scared. The crowd of demonized people said, with scowls on their faces. Look, there's someone there. Steeply a demonized man exclaimed. Bear Jin. The crowd of demonized people grabbed their own blades and looked over with wide eyes. Gu Hai, that's Gu Hai. Steeply a demonized man's face changed. He's the only one. Is he really the only one? He blocked the entrances and exits. He can't run away. What is he doing? Is he coming to die? A crowd of demonized people with hideous faces slowly surrounded them. Instead of being fearful, Gu Hai's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness, looking at this group of demonized people. His eyes were filled with indifference, as if this group was not human at all. Today, I've long since disdained it. You bunch of demons, I'm going to kill all of you Song Armor sect today, so as to prevent you from wreaking havoc on the four directions again, Gu Hai said coldly. As he spoke, dragging his absolute life blade, he blasted out his full strength and rushed at the 100 demonized people. What? He rushed over. Seek death, bold, ka. The crowd of demonized people instantly burst out with their heads full of snake heads and ferociously rushed towards Gu Hai. Before the people arrived, a huge blade chi shot out from the absolute life blade. Bear Yin, as the blade chi shot out, a cracking sound immediately startled the faces of the crowd of demonized people. What? How could his blade chi be so fierce? Didn't he just step into the innate realm? This blade chi, it's even more lingering than the blade chi of a Jindan realm elder. No, this is an illusion. I don't believe it. The faces of the crowd of demonized people changed, and the foremost demonized person chopped away with his sword. But his sword speed was too slow. Before the sword could chop, the blade chi split past him in an instant, and he was instantly chopped in half vertically. Boom! Gu Hai instantly killed into the demonized crowd. Not good. Gu Hai is at Jindan realm strength. Impossible. On my sword shattered. No. Black gas. Black gas. There are skeletons in the black gas. Senior was eaten. Quick, together. Kill Gu Hai. Amidst a series of chaotic shouts from the crowd, Gu Hai was extremely fast. The long sword in his hand quickly waved in the crowd. Time and time again, the blade dangles constantly accompanied by the blade energy. Colliding with the other party's swords with a bang, the black gas around him steeply skyrocketed up, and all the demonized people who had been chopped apart by the absolute life blade were instantly devoured by a group of skeletons. Rumble. The great battle opened. The screams of the demonized people rose and fell. The threat posed by the Jedi sword was too desperate.